Amagansett's a wonderfully special place in the world. Here we have long, white, sandy beaches, uninterrupted for probably 100 miles. We love it here. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's natural.
After years of working in the city, Stephen Judelson found a way to make Amagansett home.
I now make sea salt from the Atlantic Ocean. We've been doing this as a hobby for almost 30 years now, as a business for about 5 years. This is a passion that I fell into.
For Judelson, his day begins here at dawn, before the hordes of tourists arrive. On the beach, he gathers seawater, dozens of gallons at a time.
The oceanographers tell us that the shape of Long Island that just sticks out into the Atlantic Ocean and kind of away from the major population centers gives us a very, very pure and clean source of deep water. We love the Atlantic Ocean because it's a fast-moving ocean. We don't take our water from the Sound, which is a little slower moving, warms up a little bit more, grows a little more plankton and algae.
With the day's first task complete, he'll take his liquid harvest a kilometer away to the salt works.
Welcome to our salt works. This is our salt works here in Amagansett. I'm about to now unload the water, about 100 gallons that we just collected at the ocean. Take it out of the Jeep, put it into our holding tanks.
First, the water must go through a filtering process. For offloading, Judelson says they've tried many methods, but buckets and muscle power seem to work the best.
So now that we've done a first filtering through a 75 micron screen to get rid of sand and some of the plankton, some of the algae, and a couple things swimming around. Now we're going to put them into these blue drums where the water will settle a bit, and in a couple of days we'll put it through some other filtering steps. But this is really now just storage.
Next, Judelson reveals the stages of the salt production process.
So this is our evaporating pans. We're passing through the first generation of how we started evaporating in here. It's early in the morning, so the pans are still covered up. I need now to uncover them. We strongly believe in solar evaporation. We believe in that great salt is not just the quality of the water, but the quality of the air that the salt is evaporating in. So this is just now ocean water. This is roughly 2.5% salt by weight. Slowly, the water is going to evaporate into the sky, leaving behind the salts. This will continue to get more and more concentrated.
In the middle stages of production, they keep the soon-to-be salt covered for protection.
So this batch here has been evaporating for a little bit more than a month now, during which time we've added more and more water to it. We've tended the crystals. A couple days ago, we mounded them up to start the drying or to start the draining process, and now it's time for us to collect them.
Judelson says artisanal food makers and restaurants throughout Long Island can't get enough of Amagansett salt.
Our salt has a noticeably briny flavor as opposed to a salty flavor. I think that's one reason why our salt has been so popular among such some very, very high-end restaurants and food critics. So now our salt has evaporated and we have crystals. So the salt we just harvested, here we need to put it through a couple more steps, including more of a drying process until we get to this material here. This is our near ready to go salt. We need to simply pick through this, make sure that it's now as clean a product as possible, what we're happy to sell to, supply and sell to the world, until finally we come to the packaged product, our pure salt and one of the 14 or 15 different flavored blends that we're currently making.
Years after Stephen Jettleson made a change and came to Amagansett full-time, he does not regret a moment of his life harvesting salt from these Long Island waters.
Amagansett and the east end of Long Island has been a vacation spot for my family since I've been a little kid. I've been coming here with my parents since the 70s, and then being more of a resident with my parents when they built a house out here in the early 80s. Amagansett is just so gorgeous. During the summertime, you obviously have the beach and you have the surf. Year-round, there's shell fishing, there's fishing, there's every type of water sport you can imagine. It's such a beautiful, natural part of New York and part of Long Island.